What I'm going to discuss is about the CADIO system and technology platform. Here's the content. Let's begin with slide 1. Problem opportunity. This individual receives a lot of information from mainstream and social media like killings, robbery, kidnapping, cyberbullying, etc. But most of them are bad news. They get into the amygdala, a danger detector inside the brain. No wonder that we're pessimistic. These are negative thoughts. It leads us to deadly emotions. Here are some of them: anger, hostility, bitterness, and unforgiveness. So when we worry, it affects circulation, the glands, the whole nervous system, and profoundly affects the heart. Moving now to slide 2, which is the solution proposition. So the solution for negative thoughts are positive thoughts, like good news, good music, good information, and good entertainment. The alternative of it is CADIO. CADIO came from the words cable or internet cable. So cable plus FM radio sound is CADIO. It is a combination of different audio devices and systems like broadcast equipment, digital media, and the internet designed for narrowcasting. Narrowcasting means targeted market or niche marketing. Here's a sample of targeted market, like the Jollibee fast food branch. As you can see, there are customers inside, and above are the ceiling and wall speakers that are connected to Jollibee's sound system. Included is a DVD player. Most of the time, they use a CD or a flash drive to play their jingle. Once the customers hear Jollibee's jingle, they become captive market because they got no choice but to hear the commercial. Now let's check the closest existing media, the radio station. It seems that they are losing the market because most people nowadays would watch videos on YouTube, check some pics on Facebook, Instagram, or be on their smartphones. Let's use the live audio streaming system and change the radio station into a CADIO station. In order for us to accommodate other commercial establishments, we need to come up with a CADIO center. If we become successful with one giant fast food chain in the Philippines, we can also offer this innovation to other Jollibee's owned restaurants. This Jollibee station would be connected to the internet. Next, we replace the DVD player with our CADIO receiver that is connected to a modem or router, meaning the live audio streaming would be received by the CADIO receiver. Once you turn on the power, it would automatically receive the live audio streaming from its website being narrowcasted by the Jollibee CADIO station. The sound will pass through the equalizer and amplifier. Obviously, the Jollibee CADIO station music program would be heard over the ceiling and wall speakers. As of April 2018, Jollibee has 1,200 stores. They have 1,000 in the Philippines and 200 overseas, which means that we can also be heard in other countries. Therefore, to serve them, we also need 1,200 CADIO receivers. Now here's slide 3, the marketing plan. By the way, the strength of this plan can be traced from our CADIO market study. So let's start with the term broadcasting. It is the dissemination of messages in a broad audience. The alternative of it is narrowcasting. We need to chase the market where they usually go to or stay in for a while. The first example of narrowcasting is the events. Notice the things you see and hear in an event. You'd see posters, brochures, flyers, streamers, billboards, and you'd also hear the announcements and promos being narrowcasted using the mobile sound system and loudspeakers. As you can see, the head turns and the eyes don't stay from one view, but the ears can still hear the announcements from its loudspeakers. This means the best narrowcasting way is using audio. Here's the market. First are the commercial establishments like trade shows, department stores, supermarkets, restaurants, shops, malls, terminals, and also public places, transport units, and more. So these commercial establishments and public places transport units are also called subscribers. The head subscriber is the brand name or company, and its branches are the subscribers. So the plan is to focus on one head subscriber like Jollibee with many branches, and once it becomes known, we can start franchising. We need to be a big fish, maybe not in a small pond, but famous ponds that we can ride to their popularity, and that's Jollibee. On the other hand, hand, subscribers are B2B and B2G dealing would use the CADIO system for their marketing, ads, and promos. It is going to be their marketing tool, a customized FM radio type of sound program. We could either provide them free services in exchange of bringing in advertisers, or we simply become a provider and sell some audio spots to advertisers and give the head subscriber a good deal, either a cut from its income or tying them up with other advertisers. After dealing with the head subscriber, let's deal with the listeners or hearers of music programs and commercials. We call them audience, also individual subscribers, which is a B2C approach. Next are the advertisers, which are a B2B kind of dealing. Our strategy would be dealing with the head in the advertising industry. So we will present narrowcasting using CADIO to PANA, Philippine Association of National Advertisers, to build a strong relationship to advertisers. On the other hand, we would be giving a 10 to 15% commission to our account managers. The commission is only good for 1 to 2 years because after that, all selling and dealing will be done online. We need to build websites for our virtualization system. This would be for our head subscriber website portal. Audience and customers of Jollibee can be individual subscribers by just creating an account. They can listen to Jollibee CADIO, watch live streaming, and join contests. Advertisers and media buyers can also buy audio spots or commercial here. They can see the programs, the number of branches, and later they can even see the people inside the branches. Of course, we also need to have the Virtual Assist Sam website portal. Obviously, it is the portal that our Virtual Assist Sam would be using. By the way, the Virtual Assist Sam is our term. It is known virtual assistant. No need to work in the office. They can do this at home with their families. And lastly, the brand networking individual subscriber website portal. Here, individual subscribers can join a contest called Brand Game, designed for advertisers' loyal customers. Now, regarding our dealing with media buyers, this would be a B2B. If we have persuaded the advertisers, they will surely refer us to their media buyers. We give them the standard 15% commission. Let me discuss to you slide 4, which is about competitive analysis. Actually, we have a lot of substitutes, which we also consider as competitors, because we are using some similar systems. We have a different approach. Now, here are the companies that are similar to us when it comes to ways of disseminating messages, music, and commercials. For live audio streaming, here are the companies. This live audio streaming focuses on individual subscribers. Unlike CADIO, its subscribers are the commercial establishments and public places. Transport. Here are the in-store radio in the Philippines and other parts of the world. They are using the term radio. Most of the in-store radio provider are using CDs, flash drives, audio computers, and the internet, which means that they are not using transmitters, which need franchising agreement from Congress and a permit from a telecommunications regulatory board, or we call it NTC. Even CADIO sounded like an FM radio. Still, we are not using transmitters. This is why we made our own term. Not radio, but CADIO. This time, the internet, FM radio. They focus on the internet individual listeners. Unlike CADIO, we deal with the market of commercial establishments, or the government, or public places, transport units. For satellite radio, there's only one, and that is Sirius XM. They make money out of subscription, mostly from owners of vehicles or drivers, and this is in the US. CADIO doesn't use satellite to narrowcast. Lastly, the flat panel display. Here are the companies in the Philippines. They also use the term narrowcasting but uses video screens like plasma or big LED screens. For the social media sites, we know that we can watch them on the internet. Again, CADIO focuses on audio narrowcasting. Let's scrutinize slide 5, the business model. When social media came in, too many ads could be found and heard everywhere. Aside from the traditional media, the rise of new advertising platforms make ads harder to remember. It needs alternative, and it needs a strategic way to advertise. Now let's figure out this clock chart. As you can see, there are 6 brands per quarter, and they are repeated 4 times in an hour. Why? The minimum load is at 24 spots per hour and a maximum of 28 spots, including the subscriber. This minimum is equivalent to 12 minutes and the maximum is equivalent to 14 minutes. In CADIO, people hear the program. This is why it becomes a subliminal message when a radio commercial gets into their minds. So let's come up with a strategy of 4 ad repetition within the average exposure time, which could be an hour. It depends. AET means the average exposure time a person is exposed to an audio ad in a narrowcast coverage, like a Jollibee restaurant. Let's say most people who eat at Jollibee spend time inside by eating, talking, and doing other stuff for an hour. This could be students, lovers, friends, meetups, business talks, family treats, and more. So if the average exposure time of people staying at Jollibee is 1 hour, then we need to play the audio commercial 4 times within that span of time. This gives the audio commercial a higher value because there's no switching, no skipping of commercials here. Now, in order for us to develop the 4 repetition of audio ad spot within the average exposure time, we need to include the sales principle of AIDA, which stands for attention, interest, decision, and action, meaning one brand is repeated 4 times, which is equivalent to the acronym AIDA. For instance, an advertiser like Jollibee bought brand 1. So this is what would happen. We play the audio ad spot brand. First play, which is attention, could get the attention of people to listen. Here's the second play of audio spot, that is interest, could make people interested with the product. Then comes the third repetition, which means decision. When people hear this the third time, they would probably think of trying or buying the product. The fourth time people hear this, which is action, would perhaps convince them to act in purchasing the item. This is a strategy that has never been done in broadcasting. This time, let's do the math. Let's say the cost of an audio spot, which is also 30 seconder, is 50 cents. Multiplied to standard repetition audio spot of 4 is equals to $2 times our standard number of days in a month, which is 28, equals $336,000 worth of sets of spots, also SOS, multiplied to 6 advertisers would give us $2,016,000 in revenues. This is how we build a new industry under advertising. John Wanamaker quoted, "Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half." Bottom line, there are no perfect media. But we believe that there's a better way to advertise, and that's by targeting the ears through narrowcasting using the CADIO system and technology platform. There you have it.